things fell apart when we saw that the number of young girls who came with newborn babies, the number of young girls who were pregnant. So after all the speech making, our former deputy governor, a very high chief in Benin, former Bosa, a former acting governor of Edo, our national women leaders, former commissioner for women affairs, and a host of others, school owners, pastors, everybody came to talk to them, like goodwill messages. And then we now said, well, the Libya returnees should please come and respond. We just need 5 of them. When we announced 5, about 60 people lined up.
Wow.
That they have something to say. So at the end of the day, the training ground was thrown into a mourning place.
Wow.
Because they were all sharing their ordeals, how they saw their friends dying, they couldn't help. How one of the guests stood up to actually tell us that if there's any young woman here who is a Libyan returnee, who the Libyan men have not practiced homosexuality, not just being a sex slave. These girls are being held down by hefty men so that they can be raped. In some cases, they will even ask our own boys to hold the girls down so that they can be raped. And the few young Benin boys who said, no, we can't do this. You can't be raping our girls in our presence. We don't know them before, but we've been on this journey together. They are like our sisters. You can't rape them. They killed them to their face. So that will humble the other young guys. They killed those boys and they did not remove their body. They left the body there with them. And one of the young boys who was very close to the first one that was killed, the boy ran mad immediately. The boy fell into depression immediately. So the issue now is, I did the training, but during the training, I discovered that there was more to it.
Yeah.
For example, initially we thought these people just have 20,000 naira. They said they are going to Europe. No. They said the least money they pay these trolleys is 500,000. There is a girl in my center now. Her name is Blessing. She paid 1.3 million.
Oh my God.
And she was dumped in Libya. 23 years old girl.
Wow.
So apparently she left when she was 21.
That's the money that you just used to go and get visa.
So that is the lack of awareness, because that 1.3 million at that time can even pay, can pay her fee to go and study a course even in UK. Because you need to pay like 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 pounds for certificate course.
Yeah.
You can go and learn massage, how to do massage. You can go and learn photography. There is a department in Bradford where you don't need to earn a degree. There's 6 months course. There's 3 months course. They call it vocational studies. So now, lack of awareness, illiteracy, greed, a lot. But at this point, we've told ourselves over and over again that we're not going to ask why. We're not going to ask how. We're not going to ask when. When did you go to Libya? Why did you go there? How did you get there? At this level now, we're looking for alternative to their problems. Yes. So based on that, we did all the trainings, and after the training, we discovered that some young men and young women were so loyal, they were so dedicated. Even when there was a lot of distraction, the secretary to Libya committee approached me to give him money. I should give him the money, we know how to settle his business. I said, I'm not here to do that. I am not here to do that, because most of the Libyan returnees already whispered to me that he has a way of exploiting them as well. I said, I'm not here to do that. I am here to train these people. I brought food. I have caterers who will cook for you guys. Only the pregnant women and those with babies, I'm going to continue to give them transport fare, which was only 2,000 naira for one person, to pay their way back the next day, because they can't be backing 2 weeks old baby to go and jump on bike. And some of them said they are homeless. Some also acknowledge that they are staying in Jennifer Ero's hostel. Yes, they said they are staying in Jennifer Ero's hostel. I didn't have time to go and acknowledge her. But I sent a message across to her through my auntie who used to be a director in government house, that I acknowledge her, I thank her, and I said whenever I'm in Benin again, I want to visit the center. And I'm going to collect some of those young girls who have babies and the pregnant ones, take them to a particular center where instructors can come and teach them skills.
Yeah.
So the next day we broke into sections. We had some in tailoring, we have some making shoes, we have some making perfumes, we have some of them making wigs. We had some who were into the catering services. They were outside, so they were just learning how to do finger food, little chops. So at the end of the day, the caterer will make lunch, and then those in catering department outside, whatever snacks they have made, we make sure that it goes round, and everybody was happy.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody was happy. So, and then coming back here now, coming back to Abuja after the training, I thought, I was very worried because they kept calling me, Madam, 8 days is not enough. We really appreciate what you did for us, even though the Libya returnee secretary really behaved in a negative way. Yeah, he broke the training section into 3, took one part to Ring Road. They were wearing my t-shirt and my face cap. They were demonstrating at Ring Road.
What?
We no go gree, oh, we no go gree. We no. They didn't demonstrate for Oshomole. Yeah, they didn't demonstrate for Oshomole.
What did they demonstrate?
They didn't demonstrate for their politicians. They didn't demonstrate. I came single-handedly to come and help my people. They said if I'm not going to give them money, the training cannot continue. 1. 2, they said there is no way I can come all the way from Canada to come and train people for free. They have not told them the truth. There must be money kept somewhere. Then one of my staff too, everything was just upside down. And then at the end of the day, they said they are very sure that somebody gave me 10 million. Before you know it, SSS came, newsmen came, Nigerian Union of Journalists. I was faced with over 12 cameras. I should come and explain why am I here? Did I take permission from the state governor? I said I don't have any business with the state governor.
Wow.
Yeah, state governor launched a task force against human trafficking on Monday. I saw the governor at the door when I was coming in. I was at the UN conference with them. The EU was there, everybody was there. I was even given a platform to talk. And I kept telling them that whatever I've come to do in Edo State, I am doing what I'm doing here today out of passion.
Yeah.
I have no political intention, and I'm not collaborating with government. I'm not collaborating with any NGO or any, private organization. I'm just here by myself. And the day my money gets finished, I will leave. I'm not in competition with anybody.
Yeah.
My own is just to help the little way I can, and then go.
Sure, that's amazing.
So when I saw that the pressure was too much from them, and I said, okay, they were going to organize a youth camp, a boot camp, in the church. My friend, who is a pastor in that church, and the woman is also a deaconess, Mama Lucy, she was the one that followed us to Edo. She's also the one training for Giwa Amu Foundation. Yeah, the late Giwa Amu, the guy who was ADC to Obasanjo, that died. Yeah, the wife is also a widow, an ex-military man's wife. So she came to me and said they are doing a youth camp in her church. Should I invite these people? I said, okay, that's fine. I paid for their transportation. We moved them to Abuja. They went straight to the church. They did 1 week youth camp. And after that, they moved to my center. By the grace of God, they've been in my center since August 13th or 14th. Yeah, the intention was to train them more for 3 months. For 3 months. And then after that, for subsequent trainings in Edo, because we only did a segment.
Yeah.
Even the 580 is just like 1/4, because at the end of the day, during our training, more returnees arrived in the same hotel. And since after the training I did in Edo, 3 different groups have been evacuated from Libya.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, end of the day, I just said, well, let's train these segments. when we train this group of people, subsequent trainings, these people can join my staff. It's very expensive to organize training and empowerment. It's not cheap. Cost of transportation, accommodation, training materials, and you have to feed them. You can't bring people to come and train from 9 o'clock to 6 p.m. and you didn't give them food. So that's where we are. So right now they're in my center training, and then we are trying to launch campaign against human trafficking, prostitution, killings, and all of that here in Canada. And then I'm just unveiling the one I'm doing in Canada. I'm only unveiling because if I want to do the bigger platform, I need to bring some of the Libya returnees.
Yeah.
I need them to come and speak. I need them to come and share their experience here. And then we just did international passport for them. We want to go launch campaign against human trafficking in South Africa, in the UK, and then in Ireland.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we're going to organize Miss Libya returning. Yeah, we're really doing everything possible to bring them back.
Yes.
To get back their self-esteem. Based on everything I've done with them on my current project, which is a strong campaign against human trafficking. I was given Miss Polio International Stallion Award in the presence of 33 countries. At least 33 diplomats from different countries, ambassadors, wherever, ministers, everybody was there. And since then, it has been one phone call from one media house or the other. I kept granting press conferences, interviews, and what have you. And I was also made the keynote speaker for the Miss Polo International Beauty Pageant and Stallion Award.
Oh, that's amazing.
That was August 28th.
Oh, that's not even far. Yeah, so that's like, it's a very inspirational story, and it's really amazing like what you've been doing for all these people. I honestly hope that God gives you the grace to do so much more.
Thank you.
And about your next campaign on human trafficking, good luck with that, and God to see you through it.
Thank you. I want to quickly use this medium to solicit for volunteers, especially Nigerian students, especially Nigerians who are in diaspora. If you can't be a volunteer, please nominate your child, your friends, your neighbors. We need a lot of volunteers. We need to do a lot of advocacy, a lot of awareness, because many people don't know what is going on in Libya right now. As we speak now, my people are still on the way to Libya.
Wow.
Yeah, and the main cause of this Exodus movement to Libya, because the boys said, if we have 4,000 here, this is 1/10 of the population in Libya.
Wow.
Oh yes. So I'm only soliciting that we need more volunteers. We need more support. We need more support, because if we have enough support, it would have been nice for us to go to Libya. Go to Libya and say thank you to the United Nations.
Yeah.
And then find a way to address Nigerians in Libya. They need to come home.
Yeah.
I know that our economy is bad, but I mean,
It's
the kind of
better
life
than
they are
this.
living there now in Libya, Nigeria is still better than that.
Yeah.
At least when you're in your country, nobody is going to enslave you.
That's true.
Nobody is going to just continuously to rape you for the next 50
because
days until you are dead.
you can still go to the
Even
police.
pregnant women are being raped. People die every day. You see your fellow Nigerian dying, you can't even stop. You keep going. Somebody fell from the Helios van and the driver refused to stop. Yes. I have all the videos.
Wow.
I have all the videos, I have all the confessions. The story is so sad. I've been so depressed, I couldn't shoot any interview. I couldn't shoot any video. I couldn't do any Instagram talk. I couldn't do any YouTube, because this is the first time I will talk about Libyan returnees and I'm not crying. Even a few days ago when I got to Home Depot to go buy some gazebos, which I can use from one community to another without paying for whole and all of that. I was crying. I'm always crying because you need to see them. You need to see how they look, how they were looking when they came and how they look now. When I listen to their voice, I'm crying. I don't know these people before. I met them at the training ground, but today they are like my children. They are like my family.
Yes.
I think about them first before I think about any other thing. Yeah. So thank you so much, Debbie. I'm so grateful. So I look forward to a beautiful and comprehensive website.
Yes.
Thank you so much.